Captain Unusual here, and this is part 2 of the watch collection slash buying guide video. In the previous video you saw the Deviant Historian's watch collection, and now you're going to see mine. This right here, this is the first watch I remember wearing on a regular basis. And it's a Mickey Mouse watch. I got it for Christmas. I believe it was my uncle and aunt who got it for me. And it's a pretty classic Mickey Mouse watch. Basically a recreation of the antique kind. Back in the 50s and 60s, I believe there were a lot of kids wearing Mickey Mouse watches where his arms were actually the hands of the watch, and it was a pretty cool thing to wear. I was never a big Disney person, but I still really liked it. I liked how it was like this kind of classic design, and I got it. I can actually tell you exactly when I got it because this thing opens up, and I actually saved the instructions, and it actually is written on the instructions, K's Merchandise, Christmas 1993. So they must have gotten it from K's Merchandise, which was a chain of stores in this area back in the 90s. I don't believe they're in existence anymore.
They're a regional chain. They were on Collins Road, and they were kind of a cool place. It was really kind of a unique place with interesting merchandise. I actually have a lot of dreams there. It's really a weird place, like just growing up, like there's just,
They had some cool flow motion stuff, and I worked with a woman who had worked at K's Merchandise when I was working at Half Price Books. But and that building is now part of Rockwell, right? The Rockwell
for now,
complex.
Yeah, they lease it.
But the chain itself isn't around anymore, right?
No, I think it's shut down.
I think it's
probably
completely
10 years ago. I mean, I think a lot of it between internet commerce and a lot of other options. What did K's offer that Amazon didn't? What really drew you to go to K's Merchandise?
Yeah, not too much. I have a couple of these. These are my dad used to be into these. You would see these in the car. They're like little digital clocks that you can put a battery in, and let's see if I can slide it out. There used to be like sticky stuff on the back, and this was back when a lot of cars didn't have digital clocks in them, so you actually could just buy one and put it on the dash or something. And I thought these were kind of cool as a kid. They're pretty simple. Digital watches are really common now, and digital clocks, but this was these were kind of neat things to play with. And those are for a car or something. You stick it to a surface, like a hard surface, and at your desk, or more, I would say more likely in a car. Some of these watches I don't think I ever really wore. This one is just a busted up watch. It's got the Pillsbury Doughboy on it, and I don't even know really where I got it from, and I don't think I ever actually wore it as a watch. But I was a real collector when I was a kid. I collected a lot of shit. I'm still, I would say, a collector to in a lot of ways. I just have kind of a collector's mentality. I'm an archivist. I mean, geez, these videos I make in a way are kind of a continuation of that impulse to just collect thoughts and ideas and memories and have it all archived and stuff for my convenience. So this is a watch. I think I probably got it at a garage sale or something like that. I'm going to move on to this one. This one's kind of meaningful because this was actually my grandfather's watch. My dad's dad wore this watch in the last years of his life, and I believe that he got it free as a promotion for what is this company? Agco White, and you can see it has a picture of a tractor. It's a digital watch, and it has a picture of a white tractor on it, and he wore this in the last few years of his life. He died in '91, and it pretty much speaks for itself. It was an early digital watch. nothing fancy, but it has some meaning to it.
Well, that one on there, the symbol on there, was like a farm all or
Agco.
Agco, but that ties into International Harvester, so it wasn't a John Deere one.
Yeah, it was something different. Yeah. This watch, I think I got out of a vending machine or something. It's just a kind of a. It is a quartz watch. I can't really read the brand, but it has two A's like that. Maybe you can read it on the video, but it's nothing special. It's kind of made to look like a fancy watch, but it's not. I'm pretty sure I got it out of a vending machine. I'll show you both of these at the same time. And this was it's an Armatron, which is actually the brand of watch that I wear now. And it's a Garfield collectible. And I don't have the strap anymore, but this is the watch. And this was back when Garfield was being merchandised like all hell. I mean, that was kind of what Garfield was always all about, was merchandising more than the actual comic strip. And this was a watch I got for Easter, and you could push this button and it actually played a song. It was like some kind of springtime song or something like that. But it was kind of a cool watch. Although I always kind of wanted a Garfield watch that was like the Mickey Mouse watch, where his hands were the
Clock?
or his arms were the hands. And I actually ended up getting one of those a few years later. And that's what this is. And I got that at a garage sale, I believe. And it was years later, and it was like, I never actually wore this one because by then I was kind of too old for a watch like this. But I did end up getting that kind of Garfield watch. So I got this from the quote Easter Bunny. And I think that the quote Easter Bunny wasn't quite clear on what kind of Garfield watch I wanted. But it's... it was still pretty cool. Let's see. This one, you can see this one got really heavily worn. I got this from Kmart, and it is a solar powered watch, or at least it's supposed to be. You can see it has two solar panels on it, and the solar panels did charge up the battery. Like if you kept it in the dark, it would stop. And so like I actually had it facing the east window, or facing outside the east window, so that the morning sun would hit it for the first 2 hours of the day and charge it up so that it would be ready for the day. But it did stop working eventually. It got to the point where you couldn't charge it up no matter what. Like it just would never run, and it wouldn't keep time. But it was kind of a cool thing. This would have been like in the late 90s, like maybe around the year 2000. Actually, I think that I counted down to the year 2000 with this watch. I actually have a picture of myself counting down to the year 2000 with this watch. I remember that now. So this was the watch I was wearing New Year's of 2000.
That'd be a cool picture.
Yeah, I have that picture somewhere. I can find it. But this is one of my favorites. This was my 4th of July watch. And because of the strap there, I would wear it every 4th of July. And it actually has a kinetic element to it. It never kept good time. But you see how it's kind of broken now, but check that out. It's two kids on a seesaw. And I'll hold it up to the microphone so you can actually hear it's pretty cool. And you have to really have it wound up before the kids do anything, but it's kind of a cool, and you can see the gears there. Like you can actually see the gears turning inside the watch, because the watch is like transparent. And I don't think it was ever meant as a practical watch. I think it was more just kind of a curiosity, because even when it was working really well, it never kept time the whole time that I had it. But I got this from a garage sale as well.
The watch that can't keep time.
Yeah, I think it's more. I mean, maybe it did keep time at some point, but I think it was more just kind of a decorative thing. But this is actually a pretty nice watch, Gruen brand, and it's a women's watch, so I never wore it. But I got it for my 12th birthday. I used to go to Village Inn a lot, which I think at the time was Cooper's Mill. It was originally Village Inn here in Cedar Rapids at the Best Western across the river on the west side, and it eventually became Cooper's Mill, and which is now closed, and it's been closed for about a year now. But there was a waitress there. She was this 60-year-old woman or so. She retired. She retired right around that time, but she actually got me this as a birthday present. It was something she already had, and she just gave to me, just so that she'd have something to give me. But she was really cool. She would get us free drinks and everything. So whenever we went in there, we always hoped that she was there. But never took it out of the box. Always kept the box. If you look closely, you can see that it actually has the day of the month function, which you don't see very often on watches. That's sort of a more high function. That's kind of only high-end watches have, because it's you see a lot of watches with sort of like fake dials and like fake sort of fake functions, but that actually is a real function on this watch, where it actually will tell you the day of the month if you set it.
A quick side note with the Village Inn and also the Best Western, did you see that they've been dismantling it since you've done the video?
Yep, I did see that.
You should maybe shoot another short one of just the status that it's in right now.
I'd rather not.
Okay.
I'd rather not remember it that way.
Okay. Leave it
But
how it
this is a really cool one. It's just a digital watch, but these actually, I think you got these at Burger King. These are, and there were a few of them, and I actually wouldn't mind having the whole set of these, because it's a Simpsons themed thing. This one, you push the button and it doesn't work anymore. You'd have to put a new battery in. Yeah, you can actually hear the beginning of it. It actually worked. It said, "Are we there yet?" It's like, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And then you can actually, on the strap, you can actually read. It says that, "Are we there yet?" And you can. It's like a road with the dashes. I mean, you can tell this was actually kind of cool. They actually designed this thing. They put some thought into the design, and this was one of many different talking watches that they got. I don't think they were in Kids Meal Toys. I think you actually had to buy these, but I actually wouldn't mind having a full set of these, because I'm really into The Simpsons. The Simpsons is a huge thing for me, so it'd be kind of cool to have this whole set. And I would actually put the batteries in them, because it'd just be cool to have a full working set of these.
So that wasn't a Happy Meal toy. That was
No, that was one that you actually had to buy from them separately. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It's possible, but I really doubt it. I think that was around the time that they were selling collectibles, but not the kind that, like, kind of similar to like the commemorative glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
You know how Burger King used to sell like Dennis the Menace glasses or Garfield glass mugs. They were kind of a special kind of collectible thing that were a step above the kids' meal toy, and you actually had to buy them. But this is one of the few watches in my collection that's actually still in good shape. I mean, you look at this thing; it's a pocket watch, and I think I got this from Walmart, the Walmart in Anamosa, before it was remodeled, or before it was actually the Super Walmart. It was the one where the motorcycle museum is now. It was in that building, and it was just a regular sized. It was before they built the super centers. But this thing, it's just made out of base metal. I think it's just like brass. But you look at this thing. I mean, it's still in pretty decent shape. The chain is still shiny, and if you put a battery in it, I'm pretty sure it would work. So it's held up pretty well. Even though it was a pretty cheap watch, it's held up well over the years. So I'm thinking I might actually put a battery in this one at some point.
Did it have a cover on it or no?
No cover. Just and it never did have a cover. It was just like that. But I like how it shines in the light. It's still looks pretty much like new. No corrosion or anything like that. It's kind of surprising. And let's see, I think that covers everything. So, and of course you remember from the last video, this is the watch that I currently wear, and it's an Armatron with a blue face, square face. I tend to prefer the square faces these days. I just think they look really cool and classy. And I actually bought another one for my birthday. And this one I like because the difference is, like, this one was a $50 watch. This one is was $11.50, and I just kind of bought it because I like the look of it. It's a pretty cheap watch, so I probably won't be wearing it a lot. Maybe just for special occasions and stuff. But I like how it doesn't have any words on the face. It's just clean. It's just the blue and the four marks there, and a crystal accent on the top, and I just like the simplicity of it, and the color, the shade of blue there, and I like how it's just the face is clean and doesn't have any words or advertising on it. And I also like how, and you may not be able to see this very well on camera, but I like how the face, the glass on the face is actually concave. It actually curves inward instead of outward. On this one, it curves outward. But on this one, it actually curves inward, and it kind of gives it it sort of gives it a cool, classy look. And it also is sensible because it makes it less likely that the face is going to get scratched, because the inside is, or the face is curved inward. So if it does get scratched, it's more likely to get scratched on the edges and not in the center, so it's not going to harm your ability to read the watch. It's just kind of a cool design. The strap on it is really cheap, but the nice thing with these leather or pleather straps is that you can always have those replaced. And the watch itself, as long as I keep it polished and everything, even if it does corrode a little bit, you don't see a lot of the metal as you're looking at it, so even if it corrodes a little bit, that's not the main thing that's getting accentuated. So it's kind of a neat watch, and I just saw it and I was like, hey, it's my birthday, might as well get myself a nice birthday present. So this is the most recent watch that I bought, but this is really kind of my everyday watch, which I won't talk about a lot because I talked about it a lot. I talked about it in the last video quite a bit. But that's my watch collection, and feel free to like this video and comment below on what your favorite watches were. And I don't know if you can actually post pictures and comments on YouTube. I think you can, but if you can't, just go ahead and describe it, and I can easily look it up. I'm pretty into watches and stuff like that, so anything you'd like to share, I'd be happy to hear about. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you in another